20, 30 years ago, we didn't have the type of cleaning products and chemical products that we use around our house. Think about the diversity of all the cleaning products that are on the shelf now. And what are the ingredients? Well, it's not on the label. And so, like, and people use this stuff, air fresheners,
Hmm.
candles, like what the hell is in this stuff?
Well, you know
Nobody
what?
knows.
Aren't you glad that all the antibacterial labeling on the soaps that started in the late 80s, those have kind of disappeared now? Remember
Well,
dial?
and
So
I'm just happy the little
to sum
plastic
it up to that,
down the street.
using triclosan actually didn't help. It actually created,
Made it worse, made everything worse. Yeah.
but it didn't
And sure.
actually sanitize in a way that it was sold, right? It didn't actually do that.
Right.
You apply it consistently for a particular period of
Right.
time. This is true for isopropyl. It's true for, a lot of
Anything.
those.
Exposure and time.
And we have solutions we believed were safe. And
Yeah.
so you look at the LD50 data, okay? That's usually used for, say, you use LD50. So that what that means for the audience is you dose a particular research model at a particular dose of a substance where 50% of the population passes away, and then that looks like your dosing limit for your LD50. So that's how many people are going to pass away, 50% of the population. So LD50, we looked at that. Well, that kind of is a bananas way to look at things. Like that's a death model as opposed to, a flourishing model or an anti-flourishing model. Now you do low dose challenges and you realize there's microbiome perturbations, there's low grade smoldering inflammation, there's low grade immune activation affecting microglial, whatever in the brain, tight junctions, infiltrates, whatever, which leads to, in the words of Jeff Bland, the rising tide of inflammation associated with all-cause morbidity.
And to your point, we have LD50. We also have NOAEL, no observed adverse effect level, based on long-term study. But we don't have this data on the combination of these things in a plastic
Nor
film.
do you have the microbiome data. So the long-term study says it appears to be fine.
Yeah. So remember,
I'm greatly oversimplifying. I do understand I'm doing that for the
Yeah.
scientists in the room. But what I'm saying is there is a deeper story with the microbiome in very long-term models. So you'll look at the study. So the aspirin study, I'm going to use this one. There's no bad data in 1 year. Well, limited bad data in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. But you get to 10 years, there is a breakout now in the data.
Yeah.
And you go to 20 years, there is a definite breakout in the data showing long-term gut issues due to low-dose aspirin over 20 years.
Because your body...
Nobody studied it for that long. Well, until
Well, our studies are short. And also keep in mind, too, the other thing that's allowed is releasing off-label use of drugs post the initial safety data, which is what they're doing with GLP-1s.
I just want to throw that the audience knows that at least 50% of all pharmaceuticals have been shown to have antimicrobial action in the gut. And not only that, there's a study from 2 weeks ago showing any medication giving over a lifetime can alter the dynamic alpha and beta diversity and guild relationships of a gut. And you actually can't treat someone unless you can treat them any way your medicine works. I don't like to tell people what to do, but knowing this new information, it's very valuable to ask about previous exposures and gut brain axis influence from those medications, which sometimes can be really, really bad.
Are you talking about that big study that came out in the last few weeks, the one with the 72 or 73 meds that they looked at over a 4-year period? Yep, I read through the whole thing. I agree with you. I wrote something on it.
If we consider that the gut is like our exposure to the world, including our food and everything else, it just makes sense that it's the center of the body. Like we always think, well, the heart is the center, or the brain is the center. It's more like the gut is the center of the body because it influences everything else going on.
Actually, this is how I put it in framework for some of the people that I've been coaching and the young girl that I've been tutoring. Because of the complexity, I broke it down to this. I asked them if they've ever taken care of a garden or even a fish tank. I said, it is like a mini microscopic version of the entire environment that's outside, the entire planet, except inside. And I said, what happens when you do one thing wrong, when you forget to feed the garden, when you give the wrong food to one plant in the garden? or you forget to clean the fish tank, or you forget to water. And they all, children get it better. They get it faster. They're like, oh, wait, so this is going to do this and this. And I said, what about if you don't let them sleep? If they have the wrong temperature, what happens, right? I don't think a lot of adults that I've run into without a science background have the understanding. They want to. Prebiotics and probiotics, they're the same thing for a lot of people still. But they actually know biotics kind of refers to that, at least.
Yeah.
But they don't understand, like, what do you mean if I have the soda?
I think it's really important. There is a genuine curiosity.
There is.
Who want to understand, and when their health problems are interrupting their life in a way, and the established medical care model has been unable to either even just listen to them or address their needs, they are deeply open to alternative ways of looking at their health. And a lot of people, there's a saying that kind of goes like, nobody knows until everybody knows. Well, we're almost getting to the point where the microbiome and oral gut health is becoming one of those things that everybody's going to be talking about.